Good evening and welcome to Your Vote 2017. I'm Neville Choi.
And I'm Titi Gabi.
We are 5 days away from the date set for the return of writs, which is July 24th. And while there is still considerable focus on the progress of counting as they enter eliminations, there is a shift to which parties look to be forming the next government. Here at Your Vote 2017, we've extended the invitation to all the major parties and their leaders to appear with us on the program, and we hope to have them join us over coming days.
Tonight we're joined by the member-elect from the Matanai Open, Walter Schnaubelt. He is also the president of the National Alliance Party. Mr. Schnaubelt, welcome to Your Vote 2017 and congratulations on your win.
Thank you for having me.
Did you expect this outcome after 4 attempts at
Yes,
elections?
I was expecting this outcome. We, as a committee network that was supporting me, were expecting this outcome. But to win with the margin that we got, no, that wasn't expected. We knew we had a chance of winning and put up a good fight, a good challenge. But with the margin, no, we were a bit surprised, but overwhelmed, yeah.
So what was the agenda that you feel that got the people convinced?
I think one of the major contributing factors is the current government failed to deliver its policy, failed to deliver what it said it was going to do. And we capitalized on those failures, right? Providing an alternative of a quality leader who can then provide something that is missing within the district. So there was a lot of lip services happening on the ground, and we managed to capitalize in our favor on those failures, and got everybody, back home in the Matanai convinced that we can provide a better leadership and a better quality of service, and use some of the simple slogans that we had derived during the awareness and campaign, and that was "Strete mai dua paste." Let's all focus on each family's front door, okay? Because there's no form of basic income at all in a rural setting, right? So, and that particular slogan or that particular saying has also an umbrella effect, which means Strete mai dua could also relate to sort out the infrastructure, get the bridge sorted out, so the villagers can use it and go and transport themselves to and from market with ease, without having going through some of the infrastructure constraints that we see now around the country. So there was one, and the other slogan was the right combination for Belhart development. Okay, because the development was lacking. All right, we came back with our own strategy and say, well, you vote us in, we're going to commence on Belhart development. Okay, in other words, we're going to catch up on development that we've missed out for so many years. All right, and the right combination for that Belhart development is Walter Singan, and Walter Singan is obviously me in the Open, the Matanai Open, and our regional candidate Michael Singan, who's also the LLG president for the Matanai local level government.
So can you just very quickly outline the National Alliance key policies going into this election? Look,
we've got a very detailed policy with National Alliance, and as you probably heard, in last May we had a huge policy forum in Medang, where we got everybody's heads together and came up with a very detailed policy. But having that detailed policy and trying to translate that down to a rural setting, it becomes very challenging and difficult for them to comprehend what you've got in detail. So we just made it so simple for them, right? And break it up and said, what we're going to do is we're going to focus on your front door. Strete mai dua paste. Okay? And all that means what? Health services, improve. Education, improve. Your pillars of important policies. Infrastructure, road infrastructure, improve. And make sure the economic income circulation within the family and rural setting is also improved. Right? So that's basically the main pillars of what the policy is all about. Beneath that, of course, you got your A and your subsection B and all that sort of stuff. But you try and break it down for our poor people in the villages. Sometimes it's pretty hard to get them to comprehend. And they always respond saying, "Oi, no man something." Speak with the tongue that we can understand down here. So we were able to be successful in that department to try and get that message across, and everybody embraced it, and you saw 20,474 people voted for Walter Schnaubelt in the Matanai Open. Okay, so within only was the first to 50% plus one, broke the majority, the absolute majority. We were 7,000 ahead of the incumbent then. So, you know, that's a huge statement from the Matanai. All right, they're screaming out for change. They want a new leader to go in, and I was just fortunate that they selected me for it. And you know, and I'm humbled by that selection, and you know, I've got this obligation now that I feel personally that I don't want to let them down.
Okay. Mr. Schnaubelt will continue with Namatanai and the focus on Namatanai as we go along. But now we'll turn to discussions on a particular focus, and that's on National Alliance plans. First of all, we'll look at the latest results, and we've seen a few more declarations in the past 24 hours. So up on the screen, People's National Congress has picked up 2 extra seats, with Charles Abel winning comfortably in Alatau. And that was after Elias Kapovar in Pomio. And it's the PNC is leading with 8 seats. So far, Pangu is next with 5 seats, and all of those are in Morobe so far. National Alliance is next with 2, and the minor parties of URP, CFR, MLP, and CDP all have 1 so far, while there are 2 independents. So the sitting PNC-led government is not moved by victories by rivals Pangu and National Alliance. Party leader and sitting Prime Minister Peter O'Neill is confident PNC will form the next government, despite losing big names like Mao Zedong and the former Speaker Theodore Zurino in Morobe. Mr. O'Neill says PNC is expecting new faces to join the party. Jack Lapauve with this report.
Despite the political hype of Pangu's dominance in Morobe, the sitting Prime Minister spoke highly of his confidence in PNC continuing its leadership in government. He says Pangu's victories in Morobe are accepted as people have spoken through the ballot.
In PNC, we are losing some very, very good members, but that is the people's choice and we accept it.
PNC is comfortably leading with 8 declared seats so far. Behind PNC is 2 of its big rivals, Pangu with 5 and National Alliance 2. PNC leader Peter O'Neill says he expects more victories with its candidates in the top 5 of most electorates.
We have not performed that badly. In most of the electorates in Morobe, we have come second, good second, a very close win, close losses. But again, that is the choice of the people.
In Southern Highlands, the PNC camp is at ease as it awaits counting to be completed. Most of its sitting MPs are in the top 3. A similar scenario is in the Papuan region.
We've had very good policies in the last 5 years in terms of education, infrastructure, and many others.
The PNC leader has not formally announced any political engagement with other political parties, however has made known that PNC will camp in Alatau. PNC fielded a total of 95 candidates in this election, and so far 8 have been declared.
If it's not PNC, we will respect the mandate it is given to anyone else. And likewise, we have done so in 2002 to NA, we have done so in 2007 to NA, our people have done so to PNC in 2012. Everybody should respect the mandate that the people of Papua New Guinea give to the next party that will be invited to form government.
Jack Lapauve Jr., National EMTV News.
Meanwhile, Pangu Party has now secured 5 out of 9 seats in Morobe, and they expect to also win the regional seat. As we heard, PNC has lost several of its members in Morobe, with the Speaker, Housing Minister and Fisheries Minister all on the way out. It had been widely predicted that voters in Morobe would move away from PNC, but as MTV's Lay Bureau Chief Scott Wiley reports, not to this extent.
In the past 4 days, PNC heavyweights in Morobe suffered significant losses. On Sunday, the first to fall was Paul Ezekiel, Housing Minister and PNC strongman in Makam,
9,700.
defeated by Pangu's Connie Iguan in the final exclusion of the LPV system.
It is expected.
The event attended by Pangu leader Sam Basil was small but significant. It marked the start of a string of important election victories by Pangu Party.
King David
I'm fighting on that, I'm winning. Fight, please.
Just as celebrations began, the Markham MP was whisked off on a chopper from Markham to Bulolo to witness the declaration of Pangu leader Sam Basil. In Tewai Siasi, a novice in politics, Dr. Kobe Bomareo unseated another PNC heavyweight, Fisheries Minister, Deputy Leader of the PNC, Mao Zeming. With a total of 5 out of 9 Morobe seats secured, Pangu is now looking at a shot at the country's top post. Over the last 3 years, Sam Basil has made no secret of the fact that Morobe, with its 9 seats in Parliament, has to be a force to be reckoned with. While there's still more than 100 boxes remaining in the regional count, Pangu candidate Ginson Saonu is already in a comfortable lead, more than 12,000 votes ahead of his nearest rival. Securing the governorship of an economic hub in Papua New Guinea puts Morobe in a position to negotiate. It's the kind of power understood and leveraged by the former governor Luther Wenge.
Well, you're watching YourVote 2017, some interesting packages there, and we'll be back after this break to discuss them all with Walter Schnaubelt. Don't go away. Welcome back to YourVote 2017. We're joined by National Alliance Party President and Member-elect for Namatanai, Walter Schnaubelt. Mr. Schnaubelt, we've seen from PNC that they are not worried at this stage, given the number of candidates that they fielded in this election. And we've heard also from Pangu, who's making a larger presence felt in Morobe than expected. Where does NA sit in the next couple of weeks towards the formation of government?
Well, in the next week, you will start seeing the numbers of National Alliance increasing from 2 to 11, all right? At the moment, as we stand, statistically speaking, all right, we've got 13 candidates in first place right now, okay? Waiting for just the completion of elimination. So we're hoping that by Sunday, you're going to start seeing the numbers jumping really high. We've got 7 candidates all tracking second at the moment. Okay, we've got 3 candidates tracking third, all right, and I'm not counting the 4th and 5th. Based just the top 3, we're looking at 25 that we're going to get. Okay, and I think 25 is a good stable number to be invited to form government. Okay, look. You know, you give credit where credit's due, and I would like to congratulate Sam Basil and the Pangu Party for doing a successful job this election and be able to, you know, master the number of support that they have in Morobe. And that's a job well done for him to do that. And in relation to who we're going to partner to form the next government, we're looking at the Pangu Party, the independents, and other smaller parties to form a coalition to go into the next government. Basically, right now, the only top contenders now to form government, there's only 2 parties. PNC, National Alliance. There's no other party. No other party, we believe, that's going to have the numbers to contest that. Okay, so we're going to come on with the numbers. We believe we have the numbers. That seems to be the question on everybody's lips nationwide. Is there going to be a partnership between NA and PNC? And you know, let me just ease everybody's mind here, okay? Short question, no. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to exhaust all efforts to try and have an alternative government to go in, okay? Led by Patrick Price as our alternate Prime Minister, okay? And we're trying to now master the numbers to make that happen. Okay, so we're talking to everybody. We're talking to 20 independent candidates. We're talking to Pangu right now. Yesterday, I just got off the phone with Sam. We're talking to URP. We're talking to other parties who just have one candidate that have won. So we're gonna form this grand coalition party to be the alternative government right now. Look, no disrespect intended to PNC or the Prime Minister. Member-elect for Yalabu Pangia. It's just that, you know, I can have a beer with Peter today, not a problem, okay? But this is not about just having a social drink. You know, we're talking about the stake of a nation here, that we need to consider seriously about. Okay, PNC has had 5 years, right, to govern, and we're giving them full support throughout that 5 years. Now, we all have seen the capabilities of PNC. I don't have to deliberate on that, okay? But you can also compare with National Alliance Party. We were given 2 terms, nearly 2 terms, okay? And we were able to take an economy that was down and basically out and revive the economy over that period and brought in 2 major projects, right? The LNG and the Ramu Nickel, okay? So that is our track record as National Alliance Party, okay? We have very capable people within the party that we can draw experience from, okay, to guide us forward to get us out from this economic concern that we are in right now. PNC has been given a chance, right? And this is not just a social drink on the bar, all right? Even some of my friends, all right, they're good at one thing but not good at others. But we need to be honest with each other, okay? You know, if you're not good at that, then you got to tell your friend, mate, sorry, it's, we've got to look for someone who's capable to do that.
But what's the scenario then if the number of candidates that you're hoping to come home with don't come home, and PNC has enough numbers to form the government?
Well, that's going to be a party decision, a collective decision within the party. But all I can say right now is that we're looking, right, and determined to form an alternative government, okay? No ifs, no buts, all right? So if PNC has the numbers and invited, okay, that's the bridge that we're going to cross at that time, okay? But I can tell you right now, it's going to be a difficult bridge for us to walk over, okay? And like I said, for another time, another discussion, right now we're focused on being the alternative government, and that's it. We're not looking at second place, all right? We're looking at first place all the way through. Okay, why? Because we do have an economic crisis, okay? Despite what may be in the media out here right now, business houses are feeling the pinch. They're laying off staff, right? We had 10 billion kina in the foreign reserve. Now it's not there, right? So, you know, we have some of these concerns that are hovering, and, you know, we need to address it, because if we don't, then what's going to happen to PNG? In the midst of all this, are we seriously looking at PNG and its people? Because if you are, the National Alliance Party is the only party that you need to now form government with to get us out of this mess. I can't put it any other way. Okay.
So you said you spoke to Pangu Party leader Sembaza yesterday. Now, how far along have discussions gone with Pangu and with the independents and with the other smaller parties?
Look, we're speaking to all the smaller parties, not just Pangu. We're speaking to URP, we're speaking to PAP, we're speaking to all of them, independents as well. Okay, and you know there's a block that Sir McCary is trying to muster up some support and to support that grand coalition being an alternative government, and all the indications right now are very favourable. Okay, and let me say this: we've got Plan A, we've got Plan B, and we have Plan C in place. All right. Those plans, what I'm telling you right now, are Plan A, and we're focusing on Plan A, right? Right now I'm not going to reveal Plan B, and I'm not going to reveal Plan C, all right? They'll be our secret weapon, all right? So we're focusing on that. We're comfortable that we have the necessary support and interest from members-elect and other parties to form that grand coalition, okay? Yes, it's PNG politics. Well, we all understand that, but what is provide a huge opportunity for National Alliance Party is the current circumstances with our economy right now. That is in our favour. Okay, I've got independents texting me, right, and say, "Let me play look past them," right? But we've got you in mind. Okay, so you know what are they looking for? They want to see whether we have the ability to muster the numbers, and if we do, you trust me, that's going to be a tsunami swing, all right, on that last minute. Hence why I said, let me repeat, we've got Plan A and we're executing Plan A right now. but we do have plan B and C in place.
Has the National Alliance fielded any female candidates in this election?
Yes, we
and how are they faring?
Well, unfortunately, they lost the election. Finn Schaffen was one of them. Didn't fare too well, unfortunately, but we gave the backing that was necessary. You know, we try to encourage and support female in government as well, just to give us that balanced perspective of things and how we're going to, you know, run government. You know, when you have a male-dominant government, sometimes it's lacking the you know, let's be honest, the woman perspective of things. Okay, and that's a good balance to have in the government, and something that, you know, we as National Alliance Party, we want to support, right? But we can only support when, you know, women are putting their hands up and saying, yes, okay, I'm willing to give this a go. You know, most of our cultural belief customs here, you know, makes it a bit challenging for our mums or our ladies to put their hand up. You know? But we do try to give that support.
Right, all right. Well, we'll go for a break now, and we'll be back with more with a focus on the Matanai. Welcome back to YourVote 2017. We're joined by National Alliance Party President and Member-elect of the Matanai, Walter Schnaubelt. Mr. Schnaubelt, the Matanai is one of three electorates in the New Ireland province, but as you mentioned earlier in the program, development, especially in rural areas, has been a struggle. So you hope to alleviate over the next 5 years some of these things. We're going to see some vision now about a story on the Matanai's health sector that one of our reporters recently covered.
Yeah, the patient that went down to the river, they got died. Before that, we also had a mother who just delivered. Now, because of no water, she had to go downstream to bath. Now, after me walk on top, she fell and been carrying some injuries, bleeding inside, and then she died. One time this law, infection control, very poor, because we don't have proper incinerator and water supply and water sanitation.
Power supply is another concern.
Sometimes power go out for a week or two. Mipla by can work night as all and need long the click all have touch blow mipla.
We have solar, mipla got all solar, but was not given by the government. I'm donated by all NGOs. Currently I'm in no more work good. So most of some complicated cases, yeah, we handle them under the dark. We've been got on twin delivery. We just have to control mama until daylight. Na we deliver twins.
Me play sick. Kamanta plo sick. Inogat marasin. Bauli guess fire long give me pla Krista pen suta sol suppose because only no got one way blood checking me the me like that malaria no body or one sick me like that.
Mr. Schnaubelt, a stark reality of the situation of health in the Matanai. How were you planning to improve that?
Well, first let me say this is a result of the third biggest mining company in the world at our doorstep in the Matanai district. That's the result. You know, we get over 12 million kina per year on royalty. This is the result. That's why the people have voted accordingly and said enough is enough, right? But, you know, at least what you've seen there is some building that is still operational. Let me take you further south of the district.
50 years old,
all right?
and after 3 attempts of being in...
Mothers who are having birth complication, right, are being wheelbarrowed, right, from the village to the nearest aid post on wheelbarrow. Now, if there's no wheelbarrow because the tire is flat, okay, they get onto a canoe, right, what we call a saman, all right, where 4 people paddles the canoe. Now, while the mother's being, you know, caressed down to the beachfront to get on the canoe, right, the canoe cannot move until they find 4 paddlers, okay, just to try and go and get some basic health services, okay. You know, you'll go around the Matanai district and you'll hear, oh, I'm baby Walter, or I'm Walter, or I'm Walter, I'm that Wally, right? No, they're not my kids. Okay? They were just kids that I was able to rescue their mum at the time and take them to the nearest health service, right, with my vehicle, okay, where I had to break bottles, right, disinfect as much as I can, the sharp edge, and cut the umbilical cord. This is the health service that we have in Namatanai, right, with the third biggest mining company in the world.
What's your plan for the next 5 years then?
My plan is simple. Get the basics right, okay? As you can see, we desperately need some funding and focus and plan on our health, okay? On our education, okay? On our infrastructure. We got to stop lip servicing, right? That's got to stop, because as we continue lip servicing, the people suffer, right? My major concern is the maternity ward, right? It's just unbelievable. How can you continue to accept this, right? You know, going back south and the outer islands, you know, mothers are giving birth in the bush like pigs and dogs, right? Come on, how degrading can that be, right? So my plan is simple. Use the royalty money we have, negotiate with the mining company to try and, you know, use within our mean what's available in terms of tax credit scheme and get those basic services sorted out, okay? We need to bring those health services closer to the people, all right? And at the moment, those health services are not reaching the people, or we don't have those services that are there that's adequate enough to serve our people. So I want to change Namatanai Hospital and bring it close to an international one, if I'm capable. Right? That's my challenge. That's the trophy I've put there in front of me. I want to see Namatanai Secondary School improve, okay? Not with the current infrastructure it has, it cannot, right? So I want to see how we could utilize the tax credit scheme money to change the face of Namatanai Secondary School. And then put in their IT lab, science lab, proper teachers' houses, right? All the necessary facilities, and creating an environment that is conducive for learning, all right? And look, more importantly, right? Like I said, we've got a mining company out there, okay? Students trying to get an education, just eating tin fish and rice and possibly oxen palm and noodle are not enough nourishment, all right, for a student to gain, for them to learn, okay? So.
Yeah. Now, you talk about mining, then we're quickly running out of time in this last segment, but if you could just finish off with your opinion on the Solwara 1 project, which will feature largely in your tenure for the next 5 years.
Yeah, look, with the Solwara 1, I don't have a steadfast position on it. And the reason why is because I don't know enough about it. Okay, so I'm not going to sit here and claim that I know and pretend that I know something about nothing. All right, so my position is, as I get in, I will write an invitation letter to Nautilus, and I say, please, present. What is this all about? Where did you get your environmental impact? Who did it? What are the benefits in comparison to the impact of the environment? Okay, I need some answers, right? And right now I can't say I'm for it. I can't say I'm against it, because I think it would be very inconsiderate of me to do that, right? So, and more importantly, the whole reason why there's a negative perception on the mine as well, in all fairness to the Nautilus company, is there's not enough or efficient consultation with landowners along the coastal side. Okay, so you allow them to have these own thoughts that, you know, they can come up with their line lo place lilik story mi place harin. Okay, and we take and we run with it. Okay, so, you know, if there was a proper process or full consultation, which I'm thinking to engage in, then we get the people to understand exactly what it is, and then they can make the decisions accordingly, right? And obviously, which side I'm going to be on, have a guess. The people.
People say.
Okay, simple.
Member-elect for Namatanai, Walter Schnaubelt, thank you very much for making your time available for us on Your Vote 2017.
Thank you for having me.
Unfortunately, like I said, we've come to the end of the show. It's been a pleasure having Mr. Schnaubelt with us tonight, and we'll be back with you tomorrow night to round off the week. Until the same time tomorrow, I'm Neville Choi.
And I'm Titi Gabi. Thank you for watching. Good night.
Good night.